Don't listen to what women say, watch what they do. This is one of the most important principles of success with women. For example, if you ask a woman what she wants in a guy, she'll say, "Oh, I want a nice guy who's sweet and attentive and treats me well and takes me on nice, sweet dates." Yet, if a guy tries to use that approach to attract her and get her to go out on a date with him, she'll reject him. She'll then hook up with a guy who doesn't even treat her that well, doesn't even really care about her, and just wants to have sex with her. So what she's saying is she wants a nice guy who's sweet and treats her really well and is attentive and patient with her and things like that. But then she actually goes for a guy who doesn't even really care about her that much and just wants to have sex with her, and he has sex with her on the first night or first date that they go on. So what she says and what she does are two completely different things. The same applies with relationships. For example, if you ask a woman what she wants from a relationship with a man, she'll start saying things like, well, he should help with the housework, he should cook for me, he should give me foot rubs, he should listen to all of my problems and be there for me all the time, he should buy me expensive jewelry, take me on lots of holidays and vacations, and essentially treat me like a princess. Yet in reality, what most women are embarrassed to admit is that they are at their happiest when they are in a relationship with a man who flicks what I call the good girl switch on in her mind. This makes a woman gain pleasure and happiness out of being a good woman to her man. She likes to cook for him, she likes to clean, she likes to do nice things for him, she likes to pleasure him sexually, she loves being a good woman for him. So while most women don't go around saying that they want to be a good woman to a man, it's actually what makes them the happiest. When a woman is in a relationship with a man who flicks on the good girl switch in her mind, she actually gets pleasure and happiness out of doing good things for him. She loves to cook for him. She loves to clean. She loves to give him oral sex. She loves to be a good woman for him. Yet that is not what you'll hear most women going around saying. They will say that men need to basically bow at women's feet. Men need to do everything. They need to buy women everything. They need to suck up to them. And then maybe if they suck up for long enough, they might get some action and she might be nice to them. So just remember that there's usually a very big difference between what women say and what they actually do when it comes to men. Of course, there's nothing wrong with a man cooking. There's nothing wrong with a man doing a bit of housework. There's nothing wrong with a man doing nice things for his woman. But what a lot of women don't even realize themselves is that women are at their happiest in a relationship when they're with a man who flicks what I call the good girl switch on in her mind. Right? She actually gets pleasure and happiness out of being a good woman for him. Another example is where women say, "Oh, I don't like to be approached by men. Men should just leave me alone. No one talk to me." And then a confident guy walks over to her and says, "Hey, how you doing?" And she responds in a friendly way. She says, "Oh, hi, how you going?" And they have a conversation. Then about 1 to 2 minutes later or 5 minutes later, he asks for her phone number and she gives it to him. Yet she'll go around saying, "I don't give my phone number out. Guys shouldn't talk to women," and all that sort of stuff. The thing is, some women are completely honest and they'll share the secrets that women don't like to tell men. Yet the majority of women say pretty much the opposite of what they want. So when a woman is giving you dating and relationship advice, there's usually just one translation, and that is blah blah blah, blah 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 blah, blah 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 blah. Right? It's useless. For example, if a guy asks some women, how do I get this girl to like me? There's a girl that I've got a crush on and she doesn't seem to want anything other than just a friendship. Women will say things like, "Oh, just be nicer to her. Get to know her some more. Be patient with her. Buy her something. Be helpful towards her," and all that sort of garbage. So the guy then goes and does that, and he's really nice to her, and he's being a friend, and he's being patient, and he's in the friend zone. Right? She doesn't want anything to do with him sexually. She likes him as a person, she appreciates him as a friend, and she might even be very nice to him. Yet she doesn't want anything to do with him sexually. Then another guy comes along, makes her feel attracted immediately, and she kisses him right away, or has sex with him on the first date or first night that they meet. Another example is where a man is in a marriage and his wife isn't being affectionate anymore. He might ask some women, "How can I get her to be affectionate?" They will usually say things like, "Do the housework, give her a foot rub, buy her some jewelry, take her out to dinner, have date nights." So the guy goes and does that, and what does he get? In most cases, he gets the same result. And the wife is even more turned off because she sees that her husband is trying to do all these things to hopefully get laid, right? She doesn't want to have that type of dynamic in her marriage where her husband feels like he needs to basically do everything for her and buy her things to get her to put out, right? She wants to have a natural feeling where she naturally feels respect and attraction for him, and it just happens naturally. It's not as a result of him having to wine and dine her for hours and buy her things and do the dishes and housework and suck up to her. Yet, if you ask most women how to get a wife or a girlfriend to be more affectionate, that is what they'll tell you. So, when it comes to dating and relationship advice from women, here's what you need to remember. In most cases, if you listen to what women say, they will lead you astray. For example, a study in America found that 55% of couples had sex on their first date. Another study in Europe found that 70% of women admitted to having had a one-night stand before. Yet, women will go around and say that they don't have sex on the first night, first date, or second date. They will usually say that a guy needs to become her friend first and be patient and be really nice and not expect anything to happen for weeks or months. Yet in reality, what women do is a completely different thing altogether. Even though a woman might be embarrassed to admit it and actually say that she's never done it, statistically speaking, most women have had sex on the first date and on the first night that they meet a guy. So when it comes to dating and relationships with women, just remember that most women usually say one thing and do a completely different thing altogether. By the way, there's most likely going to be a whole bunch of angry women clicking dislike on this video. So if you're enjoying this video and you like it, please don't forget to show your support by clicking like. I don't care if some women get offended by what I'm saying. My job here isn't to make women say, isn't that nice? He's such a nice guy. He's telling other guys to be nice and to buy us jewelry and take us on nice dinner dates. Isn't that sweet? I don't care about that sort of reaction. My job here is to help men be successful with women. What I want you to remember is to focus on what women do rather than listening to what they say. Because when you listen to what women say when it comes to dating and relationships, that will usually lead you astray. Most women do not give out the secrets of what actually makes them feel attracted and happy with a man. They give out a politically correct version, a censored version, a version that they're not embarrassed to admit. If guys don't know the truth themselves and they fall for the crap that women spin, then they get caught in the friend zone, or they get caught up in a sexless relationship or marriage. They get cheated on, they get dumped, they get divorced. By the way, I'm not saying that a man should treat a woman badly and not be nice, not be good, blah, blah, blah. What this video is about is the fact that women usually say something completely different to what they actually want and do when it comes to men. That's either because a woman is too embarrassed to admit what she really wants, or she doesn't actually want to teach a guy the secret to attracting her and making her happy. She wants a guy who understands it on his own and doesn't need her to tell him what to do. For example, with being embarrassed, most women will be embarrassed to say, hey, I actually like a guy who doesn't chase after me so much. He makes me feel attracted to him and, I've got to work hard to impress him and maintain his interest. I actually like that. I like it when I need to, cook and clean for him and be a good girl and give him oral sex to make sure that I keep him happy. Most women aren't going to go around saying that because they worry that people are going to take it the wrong way. With the other example of her not wanting to teach a man what she needs, she doesn't want to have to say to a man, for example, in a relationship, if I throw a tantrum and I start treating you badly, here's how I want you to respond. Don't put up with my BS. Don't get dragged into the drama. She doesn't want to have to teach him that because she doesn't want to get herself a guy who doesn't even know how to be a strong man in a relationship with a woman, and she has to teach him for the rest of their life together. Anytime that something comes up, she has to take on that mother, big sister, or teacher role and say, okay, come here, I'll teach you how to do it. Here's how to be a strong man for me. Right? She doesn't want to have to actually teach him that stuff. So just remember, when it comes to dating and relationship advice, if you listen to what women say, they'll lead you astray. Most women cannot be honest with what they really want. Right? So don't listen to the garbage that you hear women say about, oh, the guy's got to be tall and handsome and have six-pack abs, and in a relationship he's got to do all the housework, he's got to, massage my feet, he's got to take me on expensive dinner dates, and then maybe he's going to get some action. No, that's BS.